Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jerry and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga, Top Shine Detailing. Check us out on all their platforms. A special request from Chuck Holbrook saying that Carl Croucher from Taylor Mill, Kentucky, watches the show every day, is a huge fan, and we want to give him Oracle status. Thank you, Carl. Spread the good word. Thanks for watching every day. All right. The Marines are saying, a general from the Marine Corps is saying that the Navy is not capable of taking the Marines where they need to go if they ever need to go. What is happening to our country? Unbelievable. The United States debt, okay, we hit 34 trillion. You ready for this, folks? It's already over 80 billion more. I mean, it's a runaway train. It's sickening. All right, sad story. Ken Smith put to death, but it's also silly. Let me explain. Ken Smith was put to death by nitrogen oxide in Alabama. Took him 22 minutes to die. I crack up. It just tells you how terrible bureaucracies are and government are. They do all the, are you kidding me? You can give them cyanide. I mean, there's 1,000 ways you can put somebody to death. Apparently it took him 22 minutes to die with nitrogen oxide. They make this thing so gosh dang complicated, it's unbelievable. They say, oh, it's supposed to be painless, like putting down a dog. Maybe it could have acute pain, and then they go, boom. I mean, give me a break. Nah, hanging. Nah, we don't need to hang them. We don't need to shoot them. But there's about 1,000 different ways, I'm sure, to poison somebody. Unbelievable. Texas versus the United States is getting out of control. By the way, each state has a right to protect their borders from criminals. And I would say illegal aliens. And Joe Biden keeps pushing the envelope in this. By the way, Kristi Noem says she'll send razor wire from South Dakota. They must have razor wire there. Kansas City mystery. This is becoming weird. The family members say they must have found out something. This is an HIV researcher. So maybe he killed him because they found out something bad. You know, was it a bad drug? You have to admit, it's kind of weird. You know what? That makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, how does 3 guys just die in your yard and you don't know about it? Kind of weird. Don't you agree? Joe Biden slurs his way through a speech like one of the worst ever. It's unbelievable. Trump testified yesterday very shortly in the E. Jean Carroll case. He's already been found guilty. The issue's damages. Just a joke. Prince Albert, apparently there's a bunch of secret bank accounts, the Royal Crown of Morocco, paying off to lovers and children and everything else. Total embarrassment for the old princess. McConnell is trying to throw Trump under the bus on the border negotiations, the bipartisan border. By the way, this bill has absolutely zilch to do with what's happened over the first 3 years of the Biden administration. Nothing. In other words, they act like they can do some kind of bipartisan bill and that makes it all clean. No, it doesn't. 1/3 of those people making $150,000 a year are still tapped out in this country. Sad. Elon Musk says those people working on the upcoming EV model will have to sleep on the auto manufacturer's floor. I'd like to find out what a Tesla automaker makes. He must pay him really well to put up with that. Peter Navarro got sentenced to 4 months for contempt of Congress. Guess who never served a day for contempt of Congress? Eric Holder, Barack Obama's attorney general. It's unbelievable. Double standard for Trump in the negative. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day. Check us out on ericdeters.com. And the newsletter goes out today. It's incredible. My weekly newsletter, Eric Deters Media, that we'll email to you. We also post it on Facebook and online. If you live in the tri-state, Kentucky, Cincinnati, Indiana, if you get this and read it Friday, Saturday, or Sunday over the weekend, you can keep up on all the news without buying a Cincinnati Enquirer. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show, local news, sponsored by Eric Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga, Top Shine Detailing, and check us out on all of our platforms. Well, our lead story is the Hansen trial. This swanky guy right here, pain doctor, he's getting crushed in federal court. Crushed. This week, by the way, the detailed email goes out with the newsletter today, so check it out. But this week has been highlighted by the Fed's prosecution expert, Dr. King, who just obliterated him. And I have no doubt that Dr. Hansen is going to be convicted. Hey, doesn't everybody do a little cocaine on the weekend? Bottom line is, just so you know, to refresh your memory, if it's the first time you're watching this, Dr. Hansen was out of control giving his patients opiates, also including saying, I'll give you the opiates if you get an expensive epidural done. All right, got a sad story to report. Rest in peace, my friend Lloyd Bruckner. Lloyd Bruckner passed away this week. The services, for those of you that live in the Independence community that know Lloyd and the Bruckner family, the services are going to be at Chambers and Grubbs from 4 to 7 p.m. on Tuesday. And then there's a funeral service in Fort Wright, 11 o'clock on Wednesday. I didn't know Lloyd Bruckner until later in my life. I always knew who Lloyd was because he was the father of Jill Bruckner, who is my wife's, Mary Zimmer's, best friend from childhood. But this is a great story. One day I get a phone call from my wife, and she says, you have to help out Lloyd. And I said, what's going on? She says the Kenton County Jail is buying the property next to him in his farm to build a jail. And over the advice of my father, I decided to take that case for Lloyd and battle Kenton County for the cause of keeping the jail out of that location. During the course of that battle, I got to meet Lloyd, realize how smart Lloyd was. Lloyd had a career that he retired from at Western Southern in finance. Lloyd was smart, but he had style to him, always drove a Corvette, has 3 wonderful children, Kim, Jill, and Joe, all great people. I've gotten to know Joe a little bit in the last 10 years. Got to know Jill very well in the last 10 years. Also, Keb Bright, who is Jill's husband, who I got to know during that jail battle, has become a good buddy, and he's part of my euchre gang. But I just want to honor the life and memory on a special way of Lloyd Bruckner. By the way, he was also a basketball star at Simon Kenton High School. And, he just a good guy. Like the epitome of what we love about America. Lloyd represented that through and through. May he rest in peace, and may grace assuage all the pain of the Bruckner family. Good memories is what I always like to remind them. They don't need me to tell them how wonderful Lloyd was. They knew what a great dad and grandfather he was. And I'm glad I got to know Lloyd. It was an honor. All right. Long crime. Chad Dorman wants his confession thrown out. Well, it ain't going to do any good, Chad, because everybody saw you shoot your kids. Stupid. Mark Holbrook pled guilty, no relation to Chuck, pled guilty to rigging gas meters and screwing her. How do you do that? How do you knowingly do that? What kind of a human being, your conscience, that does that? Tayshawn Adams has been arrested. This is the mom of the 3-year-old who shot the 2-year-old. Both parents have been arrested, charged with manslaughter. Terrible. In local news, the 3 Kenton County judge executives, the 3 Northern Kentucky judge executives, Boone, Kenton, and Campbell, all say we need more workers. No kidding. All right. Chris Collins wanted to give him an Oracle status. He's the new Williamstown police chief. By the way, this is always a big deal in these communities, all across America. And you can just see this guy's beaming with pride, and I'm sure he'll serve Williamstown well. Congratulations, Chris Collins. All right, in Kentucky news, there is 26,000 people have signed a petition to name a park after Loretta Lynn down in Johnson County. I just want to say this. Robin Webb, I think it's Johnson County. Robin Webb, the state senator, Democrat, who's also a lawyer down in the mountains. I went to law school with Robin Webb. She was something else. She was cool. She was badass. She was a gun-toting. I mean, like, I don't know. She represents Eastern Kentucky in all respects really, really well. And she's leading the charge. She's also apparently a distant cousin of Loretta Lynn. All right, in Ohio news, Hamilton County property taxes have nearly doubled. People are outraged. I forgot this, but we can always throw it in there because it was in Cleveland. It was missed locally here. LaRose, Marino, and Dolan all debated Tuesday in Cleveland. Nobody scored any big marks. Cindy Warmbier from Ohio is supporting Nikki Haley. Wonder how that makes Trump feel. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Get the Eric Deters Weekly News.
You're watching Eric Deters World News, the latest headlines. A convicted murderer in the United States is slated to be the first person executed using nitrogen gas, whilst in Japan a man faces death penalty by hanging for an arson attack. Despite global trends towards abolishing capital punishment, the number of executions continue to rise. The Kenyan High Court has intervened to prevent the government from sending police officers to Haiti to combat gangs. Citing legal constraints, the judge ruled against the deployment, stressing that armed forces can only be deployed for peacekeeping missions. In other news, trade negotiations between the United Kingdom and Canada have hit a roadblock after nearly 2 years of post-Brexit discussions, primarily due to a disagreement over the beef and cheese imports. Existing trade operates under a rollover deal from the United Kingdom to EU membership, allowing for certain exemptions. However, efforts to extend these provisions through a new agreement has failed, leading into a standstill in talks. And with freezing temperatures, thousands of Russians braved the cold to sign petitions in support of Boris Nedzen, a challenger to Vladimir Putin in the upcoming election. Nedzen's platform advocates for ending conflict in Ukraine, ceasing military mobilization, and opening dialogue with the West, posing a problem for the Kremlin as his nomination gains momentum. That's the latest headlines. I'll be back Monday. Cheerio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jerry Bulldog Nation, welcome to Sports Without Boundaries. Boundaries are sports without boundaries. And guess what? We're sponsored by Top Shine Detailing. Check them out. All right, in football, Sunday's NFL games. The conference championships. The Chiefs are at the Ravens. Ravens are going to win. And the Lions are at the 49ers. And the 49ers are going to win. We'll have a Ravens-49ers Super Bowl. First game's at 3, second game's at 6:30. I can't believe it. Djokovic lost to Shiner in the semifinals. 3-1. And geez, my man Joke. Sorry, Joke. Debo Samuel has been practicing. He's probably going to play. Why would he play? Because he got 2 weeks to get the shoulder better again for the Super Bowl. NBA All-Stars are selected, East versus West. And guess what? LeBron James has broken Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. He just made his 20th All-Star game. I like the All-Star game. It's fun. All right, the Falcons hired Raheem Morris. Wow. Picked him over Bill Belichick. Why? They're thinking long-term. You see Belichick as short-term. Chris Everett and Martina Navratilova says female tennis should not go to Saudi Arabia. They're purists of the game. Michigan is now looking at Chris Kleiman from Kansas State. He won, I think, 4 championships, D2 with North Dakota State, or North Dakota. All right, the Panthers have hired, this is a surprise hire, Bucs offensive coordinator Dave Canales. We'll see how that helps Bryce Young. Cyclones play Friday Toledo, Saturday Fort Wayne. Lots of NCAA men's basketball on Saturday. Here we go. Miami is playing, I forget who they play. UC plays UCF, Ohio State, Northwestern, Kentucky, Arkansas, the Louisville Cards at Virginia, and Sunday X plays UConn. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day. Ladies and gentlemen, the American cheering Bulldog Nation, welcome to Eric Deters Pop Culture, sponsored by Top Shine Detailing. All right, there is now a wolf moon out. The first full moon of 2024. It's called the wolf moon. Oh! Can you do that, Sabrina? Can you howl?
Yeah, but not on air.
All right, Masters of the Air is now streaming on Apple TV. This is the Spielberg, Tom Hanks World War II drama. We'll see how it goes. Austin Butler and Keogh star. All right, this is nuts. Transgender vets are suing the United States government, wanting our taxpayers to pay for the $100,000 for their trans. We live in a country that's effed up. Now, it's just messed up. This is a funny story. Miss Japan was born in Ukraine, but she is a naturalized Japanese citizen. But there's an uproar about it. Purists in Japan. They want a real samurai bloodline to represent Miss Japan. Ooh. It's the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.